We're gonna see what's going on with Asmon right here.
What, one of his clips?
Well, let's see, Asmon. Why would that be? Can you explain?
This is definitely an AsmonGold video.
Let's see.
Let's watch it.
In the last 50 years, over $1.2 trillion of aid money has
1.2 trillion. 1.2 trillion with a T
been poured into Africa. More than the entire GDP of countries like
You don't
Spain,
hear it?
Australia, or South Korea. When all of this
What a waste of fucking, what a waste.
Yeah.
Did you just hear that?
No.
$1 trillion. It's
fucking,
more.
what a waste of money.
It's
of
more than
countries
most
like
countries'
Spain,
GDP.
Australia, or South Korea. When all of this
What a waste of fucking, what a waste
That's a
of money,
crazy
guys.
amount
Oh
of
my
waste of
god,
money.
what a waste.
began, just 11%
Wow.
of Africa lived in poverty. But by the
That's not even
1990s,
bad.
after floods of money and global campaigns, that number had actually increased to 66%. And
So the more money we give them, the poorer they get.
today it stands at 38%, over
Holy
3 times
shit.
How does the poor rate go up when you're getting more profit than multiple countries' GDP combined?
Sure.
higher
That don't even
than when
make
the
sense.
aid program started. In fact,
So he spent $1 trillion to make them 3 times poorer?
Poverty
back in the
was literally
1950s,
11%
the average Western
in
European
the 60s.
was just 5 times richer than
It
the
is
average
in
African.
40%
Now
range
the
now.
gap has more than doubled to 13 times.
And they're 10
Yeah.
times
There's
the wealth
no
they were
way
in.
it's that low. There's no way it's only 13x.
Today, over half of all African
Like, I'm sorry, but like, are you really trying to tell me that like this guy, like any of these people in this photo have a net worth that's like,
Why did that just
why
stop?
giving?
social plan. But the truth is that decades of Western involvement might be the rest of the world, at
Yep.
least for the past 300 years. But for decades,
Probably more like 3,000, aside from Egypt.
the West's answer to this has been simple. The reason they're poor is because they don't have enough money. And to fix that, we simply just need to give
We are poor simply because we do not have enough money. But your country was given $1.8 trillion. 1.8 trillion.
It just disappeared.
What do y'all think about that?
It's a lot of money to go disappearing.
You think a country should have more poor people now after receiving almost 2 trillion than they did in the 1960s when the dollar was worth nothing?
them more. So that's exactly what's happened. Since
Right.
the 1960s, the amount of aid going into Africa
So so let me get this straight. Why is it that aid money, like, we weren't giving a bunch of aid to China, but China became rich?
It was like a...
Hey, that's a crazy good point, Asmon. He just said, we didn't give China money and they became rich. No shit, but we're going to give $2 billion to Africa and they're poor. What? Or $2
did that
trillion
happen?
and they're poor.
has increased by nearly
going
120 times. It's easy to see why this is such a popular strategy. It's simple. When we think of aid, we imagine schools being built, roads being paved, children being vaccinated. By and large, this is the strategy that transformed Europe and America into the powerhouses they are today. But in Africa, it doesn't seem to work.
Jesus
The obvious
Christ.
answer that many people turn to is colonialism.
I mean, dude's got a
Europe
Gucci
wrecked the
outfit on.
continent.
How can they be poor, but you got a poor guy wearing Gucci? That might be that
Thank
Chinese
God for
Gucci, but
colonialism. If it wasn't for colonialism, they wouldn't even have these barrels.
Yeah, it might be that Fagucci.
leaving economic systems
It'd
so
be even worse.
bad that the rise of dictators and corruption was inevitable. And while there's no denying
There were no dictators without colonialism.
Yeah.
that fleets of luxury cars and
Colonization
presidential
is
jets,
literally
while around 30% of the
why they
continent
have
lives without
anything.
clean water,
Cell
certainly
phones.
doesn't help, there's more to the story. And a growing body of research is showing that the money being given to Africa isn't just being wasted, it's actually making the continent poorer. But the truth is that decades of Western involvement might be the one thing holding Africa back. This is how aid laid the
No
foundation
shit.
for the biggest humanitarian failure of the modern era.
No shit, the elite ain't giving the poor any money. That's common fucking sense. You think a billionaire wants to
What,
give
'cause
money
it's
to
funding all the
some nobody?
warlords?
No,
They
they
steal all
want
the
that
money?
extra
Foreign
billion.
aid was seen as a kind of magic bullet, a surefire way to lift the continent of Africa out of extreme poverty. And to be fair, by the 1960s, there was a good reason to think this. The one major instant where it had been tried, it had worked remarkably well. After World War II, Europe was left decimated, and all of this
How's it going, truck guy?
I wonder why.
came with a massive geopolitical risk. Across Western Europe, communist parties were quickly gaining popularity,
No
and there was a
shit.
real risk that without a strong economy, Western Europe could turn to communism, or worse, be invaded by the Soviet Union. For the US, this would have been a disaster. So in 1947, the government announced one of the most ambitious economic
2 years
programs
after
in
World War
human
II.
history, the Marshall Plan. Between
Oh.
1948 and 1952, the US pumped
Yeah, 48 is 2 years after World War II, guys. So think about that. They were able to give millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to people while still battling World War II, soldiers dying, lives getting ruined. That just don't even make sense.
over $13 billion into Europe.
It's a lot of
roughly
money.
160 billion in today's money. The idea was that by providing Europe with large amounts of cash, America could kickstart investment in the economy.
Yep.
And surprisingly, it worked. In the decade after the Marshall Plan,
It sure did. It worked
No, I
really
don't
well
have
with Europe.
robots.
It worked really well with Japan, too.
GDP per capita
Have you heard
across the
about
region
Johnny?
grew by
It's a
almost
miracle.
35%. For the Western world, this
No, I
was a
haven't heard
massive
about him.
success. But for America, it also represented a turning point. It realized that through aid, it could make countries rich, and in doing
But
so,
that kid-
create both new trading partners
That kid that stabbed that other kid at school just got sentenced to 35 years. Mm-mm. No, I do not.
and long-term allies in the
And
fight
Korea.
against communism.
Yeah.
So after the success of the Marshall Plan,
Wow.
the US looked to another continent, Africa. At the time, the continent was still reeling from centuries of
My
colonialism.
manager does though.
In 1960, the average income in sub-Saharan Africa was less than $150 a year,
Holy shit.
and literacy rates were under 30%, with life expectancy hovering around 45 years.
Damn.
It's pretty high.
Most of the continent lacked paved roads, electricity grids, or functioning governments. But it also had something America wanted: natural resources. The continent held massive
We got to get the special rocks.
Yeah.
reserves of oil, copper, diamonds, and rare minerals. With a
Who would have thought America gives the country money just so they can come take all the oil and rare minerals? Who would have thought?
rapidly growing population, it was seen as a future economic giant. If America could repeat the success of the Marshall Plan, it could unlock a new economic frontier and build a key ally in the process. So the money started flowing. In the 1960s, sub-Saharan Africa
What we should have done is we should have built like massive imperial citadels like
Yeah.
in Warhammer 40K.
No.
In different places in Africa where we have all the special rocks. And then we could have had like a military over there that would facilitate the special rock
The military was there for like 15 years.
collection. That's what we should have done. That would have worked a lot better. I guarantee it would have worked way better.
was receiving
We would
500
have had way more special rocks too.
million US dollars in aid every year. But by the 1990s, that number had increased 40
The rocks
times
must
to
flow,
almost
yes.
20 billion. Africa quickly
colony?
became the most aid-dependent region
How do you 40 times the amount of aid? What?
On Earth.
Help
And by
me,
the
I want
90s,
some aid.
aid money made up over
Imperial
60%
outreach.
of government budgets in countries like Uganda, Mali, and Burkina Faso. But despite this massive injection of cash, things were actually getting worse. In fact, from 1970 to 2000, the average income in Africa declined,
No
despite
way.
receiving almost 600 billion.
$200? Oh my god.
How does that
this
even
time
happen?
period. But rather than changing approach, the West doubled down. In 2005, the UN launched the Millennium Development.
This is more about what I was saying about how it's not about doing good, it's about appearing good.
Exactly. They want to
None
look
of these
good
people
when
that
they're
are
just
like
trying to
these
rob a
weird
block.
bleeding hearts on social media really give a fuck about Africans. They don't care about Africans. That's why they're using phones made with cobalt. Like, they don't care about that at all. What they really care about is being able to use their suffering as social accessories,
Social, not
so they can be
political.
seen as a more
Everything ain't
virtuous or
got to
good
be
person.
political.
That's it. It's not suicidal empathy, it's pathological empathy. It's narcissistic
It's
empathy.
narcissistic, yeah.
It's different.
And the G8 promised to double aid to
Yeah.
Africa, with the end of
If you wouldn't have said narcissism coming out of this, that would have been a little weird. It's not, yeah, it's not cycled aggression. It's just cycled greed. They just want what they have, really. Oh, you got precious materials and a bunch of money I can get? Here's $2 trillion. Now let me make 50 trillion off you.
aiming poverty by 2030.
While your
Why?
country stays
This wasn't just
Not only that, but while your country stays poor and can't do shit. Joke's on you, idiot. I'm
a
rich.
government strategy anymore. It had become a public movement. Campaigns like Comic Relief in the UK, Live Aid, and Band-Aids Feed the World turned Africa into a moral crusade.
I mean, that was a
One of his chat said it. Homicidal empathy.
generational concert.
That's
I
a
mean,
good
like,
word
people
for
still
it.
talk about that concert.
Ordinary citizens were donating
Yeah.
millions. Schools, millions that were meant to serve the public. But
Western pathological narcissistic fantasy to imagine that everywhere else in the world wants to live the same way that we live. You might look at all of these Africans living in mud huts that don't have electricity, and you might say, wait a minute, I know how to solve all your problems. I'm going to introduce all this technology and all this new stuff to you. But has it ever occurred to you that maybe they're not really comfortable with that? Maybe that's not how to improve their lives. Maybe not everybody.
Oh, dude. Fern, guys. Fern is so good.
The Nazis
Wait,
are
I'm not
coming
subbed to
through
him. I don't know
Warsaw.
how. But Fern is... He's so good. Me and the wife watch him
Behind
all
the
the time.
door, the man doesn't move. He knows exactly what's happening. This is a roundup, part of Hitler's plan to destroy Poland by annihilating its professional.
Let's watch a little, let's react to some of these true crimes. See how they are. The grinder trap. Facebook beef turns to murder. Yeah, I mean, almost everything his chat said, he just like corresponded and kind of said the same thing. That's why I kind of just clicked off of it. I could copy people too and just say what they're saying instead of giving my own input. I mean, AsmonGold's a great guy. But in Gwinnett County, Georgia, chat. I got some family not far from there. That's funny. My mother was on Arkansas's Most Wanted. Ain't that
Wow.
funny?
Wow.
My mother once was on the state I'm 54 offenses, including 4 murder charges. So how did he have time to commit 54 offenses and 4 murders? This guy should have been off the fucking streets after like the 3rd strike, not 54 strikes. Actually, 58 strikes. The fuck? So this man had a successful life, wonderful job, making 6 figures a year. Perfect life, some would say. And then he gets accused of an R-word situation and abusing his girlfriend
girlfriend.
Now, just think, this man had a perfect life, yet his first charge was an R word. Like, that just tells me this man was doing this for years. It didn't just come out of the blue. He just starts, you know, graping every fucking person he can. That's bullshit. Right after he did that, before he committed any more crimes, right after this motherfucker did that, set him right in the electric chair. See how that feels.
In the courthouse.
See what happens.
Nichols went on a killing spree.
Judge Barton wouldn't have seen him come into the main room. Brian shot Judge.
So they give this man what?
Barnes in the left side of the head.
This dude literally punches that officer, takes her gun, goes and kills the judge.
He then took his rampage out onto the streets.
There was a house with the door open, and there was a federal agent in there working on his behalf.
An officer stole her gun, killed people in the courthouse, and now he's on the streets doing whatever he wants. Oh, and then he goes to one of the worst cities in all of America, Baltimore. Okay, so if a 21-year-old in college steals from his own college, gets kicked out of the school, that's your first sign. That's
The open sea. It's The ocean is no place to be abandoned alone. The open sea, its mystery and beauty have always been irresistible. But when the ocean turns...
John, ask him to come up.
Brad's a decent sailor, although he's not yet in Debbie's league. The Trashman heads inshore to Annapolis, Maryland, to pick up the final member of the five-man crew, an English sailor who's a friend of Brad's.
Debbie, this is Mark Adams.
Hi.
Debbie here did the last whip bread. Is that right?
That's right.
I'm betting that your job was.
I didn't like his condescending, chauvinistic attitude.
Every minute that his mouth was moving, he was saying stuff just to be outrageous and to get people going. That was his MO. When we left Annapolis, I was in heaven. I was on the big version of my parents' boat with these nice new people heading to Fort Lauderdale, and I couldn't have been happier.
There's something about pushing off and being back on the ocean. Everybody was...
So why do we have 5 people on the boat? Only a woman knows how to be a captain of the boat. And they're literally sailing fucking 500 miles from Annapolis, fucking Maryland, all the way to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That don't seem like the crew I would want to be on the fucking boat with. Yeah.
It's getting along. And
not only that, but then you got a fucking prick that's condescending and conceited. All fucking, I'm better than you, but he's letting a woman show him up. Listen to the captain, quit being a dick.
The first day is an easy sail. By nightfall, they're right on
the first day's always easy.
That night, the weather was beautiful. The boat was fun to steer. It really just didn't get much better than it was.
This is the captain, Chet. She is the one that is the lead. She's the only one that knows anything about sailing in the ocean.
Wake up. Debbie!
That was 4 hours?
It's blowing a gale out there. Meg's falling. She's hurt, and we're taking on water.
She's hurt real bad. Can you come take a look at her?
Where the hell did this storm come from?
Usually, if it's a squall, it comes in and it blows through and it's over. But this was not a squall. This was something that was building momentum. I couldn't believe the conditions had deteriorated so much.
Such good acting, dude.
Surfing
Best
down
acting
those
I've ever
waves,
seen in my
it
life.
was like a roller coaster. And it's like an elevator when it drops.
I mean, you're in the
That's
middle
why I
of
got
the...
into sailing, Brad.
Well, my mother sailed through a hurricane when I was in her belly, but I can honestly say that this kind of weather is not in my blood.
Mark's up on deck, just woo, howling at the wind, and obviously he's been drinking.
Come on! Gotta help her. She fell on her back.
Well, I'll take a look.
Meg had gone up on deck, and when the boat fell and wiped out, her tether didn't keep her from falling.
I was like,
Literally
what was Meg
floating
doing
through
on
the
deck to
Atlantic
begin with?
thinking they're
She
just
has no business out
not
in
in
this kind
serious
of weather.
fucking danger.
Leave it. Just help her, okay?
But John...
Debbie, for once, would you just do what I say?
She rolled
Yeah, he
over
needs punched.
slightly, and you could see the bruising begin, and it was all through the kidney area. I could just tell she was in so much pain.
I want to go home, John. Take me home.
Okay, Ellie. I'll get some help.
John discovered that he didn't have any charts to take him into this part of the coast.
It was just one more little omen that things weren't great. It was that he wasn't prepared.
Sailing vessel trash man calling Coast Guard. We urgently need a compass heading so we can head inshore. We have no chart. Over.
Brad and I
So
went
you
up on
weren't
deck to
even
take our next watch.
Who
and it
goes
was
sailing in the middle of the
wildly out
fucking
of
ocean
control.
without
The
having any
winds were
maps?
gusting 50 miles per hour, and Mark's up on deck, and he is just wild.
Are you out of your mind? We're in a jail and you're hammered! You're a bigger idiot than I thought!
We're watching. Still floating, isn't she?
The Coast Guard advised us that we should go to Wilmington, North Carolina. But when we altered course and headed into the coast, those waves just started smashing into the boat.
Yeah,
and
why would
impacting
you?
us.
Yeah,
And
why
it was
would
like
you
one of those
turn the-
amusement park rides that, you know, kind of jerks you up.
You
But
should
it wouldn't go
never
over and
go
jerks you
into
up.
the storm.
The yacht's sails are ripped off in the storm, so John turns to the engine in a last-ditch attempt to power through the waves.
The alarms all went off and the engine overheated. The engine was gone, and that was the end of our ability to charge the batteries. We were quickly going to be running out of power to speak to anybody from off the vessel.
Oh, fuck.
Now
That-
we had no
that had
engine,
to be
no
absolutely
sail, and we were
fucking
just
terrifying.
floating out there in the ocean.
Yeah. In the most
Not knowing
shark-ridden
what else
ocean.
to do, John makes a decision the others find
Deep
hard
out
to
in the
take.
Atlantic.
He radios for help.
Yes, we're running on emergency power. We need assistance immediately. We're in trouble. Our engine is down. Our sails are damaged. We need immediate rescue. Over.
Needs rescuing.
I'd never been on a boat that had requested assistance, and it was really odd for me because it was like giving up. But John's
what
big
can you
issue
do?
there was getting Meg off the boat.
He has no right calling the Coast Guard. He's a skipper, Mark. He called the shots. Don't forget that.
He was angry. You know, he believes that a sailor should be self-reliant, and only that, you know, only wusses would call the Coast Guard.
I mean, when you have no
Roger that.
engine, no
Two
sails.
ships, Exxon, Huntington, and Gypsum King. 4 hours away.
Since the two merchant vessels are the closest ships to the trash man, the Coast Guard requests that they head towards the yacht to assist. Help is at last on its way.
It gave us this false sense of security, and I think that's probably the kiss of death.
They will rendezvous. Roger that. Over.
That's exactly what it would be. At least you
Come in, please,
understood.
Coast Guard. This is Trashman. Are you still there? Over. Anybody
It never
there?
goes
Anybody
out. I
there?
mean, like,
Over.
if
Anybody.
they think someone's coming
Powerless,
to
the
them
yacht
when they
is
can't even
battered by
do
the
anything.
enormous waves.
That's a
But
big-ass
after
boat
12
they're
hours
on.
on watch and with help on its way, Debbie and Brad decide to get some rest.
I crawled in. I was so exhausted. I can hear Mark whooping it up and howling at the wind. Woo! There was that brief moment. I thought, God, we ought to be on deck. And then I thought, you know what? It's not my problem now. I gotta get some sleep.
But you really can't sleep in that situation. You can just try and rest, and having all that time on your hands, your mind can just take you all sorts of terrible places. I was just lying there and feeling like the boat was going to break apart.
Without sails or an engine, the yacht's almost impossible to steer. So Mark ties off the helm and heads down to sleep.
I don't know how.
Brad lies awake, ill at ease, as the situation begins to get much worse.
One of these times we got
I
to the
can
top
never
of
just
one
lay
of
down
these
and go to
waves,
sleep
and
while
it
my
crested and broke, like
boat's
at the
destroyed.
beach, like Hawaii 5-0, and the boat fell off the top. You know, we were in free fall, and then we impacted against the window, and the window just smashed out, and the water just poured in.
Johnny! Johnny! We gotta get out of here!
They were just in a limo and they just put a swarm of bees in the limo.
Here's the boat sinking, and we're scrambling to get to the
And
deck,
then
and I
lock
hear
the door.
John over here going,
Mayday! Anybody! Mayday! We're sinking! We're sinking! We're sunk! Anybody!
and I get up on that deck, and it was just like a slow motion drink. I don't even know how to
Now
describe
one
it.
guy's
It was-
eating horse shit.
It was just gray, and it was crazy, and it was tumultuous. And I look around, and there is nothing. And we're going down, and we're going down fast.
Well, yeah, you're kind of in a terrible storm in the middle of
You don't think about dying. You don't think about drowning. You don't think about anything. You think about getting away from this boat that it's going under, and it's sinking in less than 2 minutes. It's just going down like a big rock.
Mark frantically struggles to undo the pressurized canister holding the life raft and survival gear. Brad heads for the only other option, a tiny, inflatable dinghy.
Well, at least they had that. That'll keep you floating a little bit.
But I swam after the dinghy, kicking off my sea boots and my foul weather bottoms, thinking, my dad's gonna kill me. I've just let his boots sink. And then thoughts of my mother and how horrified she was gonna be, and how sad that when she learned that I had died there in the ocean.
Come on, Roman, try, don't get pussy. They wanted to cry so hard. By the way, guys, this guy's drunk. He drank a whole bottle.
The canister inflates, and he's still holding on, and eventually he just lets go. The life raft is blown away, and we weren't going to find it in the middle of the night.
You managed to get anything from the yacht?
Nothing!
We're dead!
Inside that life raft was everything that we needed to live, to survive what we were going through. It had an emergency beaconing device, which a plane could have picked up on, had water makers to make fresh water from salt water.
Food, fish hooks, mirrors, signaling devices.
It had rations, flares, first aid equipment.
Perhaps had a radio even with it.
And in that rubber Zodiac dinghy, we had absolutely nothing.
Oh,
Absolutely
fuck. So
nothing.
why did you guys choose that one over the other one?
Sorry, I lost the life raft!
Our chances for survival were 0.
Where's Meg?
As the boat sank, Meg was within the rigging.
No saver.
Get away from me, yacht!
And she just didn't have the sea savvy or the knowledge to, you know, watch the waves, and then when the wave action was right, to swim out. So I knew if I didn't go back and get her, she'd die.
Jimmy! Be careful!
What a brave ass woman right here. Going to save one of hers.
Hey, you gotta keep your head, okay? Now!
We're all gathered around the rubber Zodiac dinghy, and I remember watching Trash Man as the last little foot of her mast slipped under the water.
Damn, that must be
And
heartbreaking.
it was the most devastatingly lonely feeling that I've ever felt in my life.
That's gotta be insane.
The trash man went down in less than a minute.
You're all gonna die!
By not contacting the Coast Guard. You know, we were now half an hour late for our radio call. They should have been on the way. Cavalry rushing in. All we needed to do was stay afloat, and they'd find us.
That's harder said than done, brother. You're in the motherfucking Atlantic
The
Ocean.
next day, when the sun finally came up, the sky was overcast and gray.
The air temperature being 40, we would definitely succumb to hypothermia.
Let's get under the dinghy. There's a shelter. I can't.
No.
I can't.
We'll be out of the wind!
Rather than flip the dinghy over, the crew get underneath it, where they'll be sheltered from the bitterly cold wind and rapid hypothermia.
Come on, check on you.
The sad thing was that Meg just couldn't participate. I think it was too painful for her. But more than anything, Meg was very claustrophobic.
Soon, the water begins to have its own chilling effect.
You guys should have forced her to get under there to get her out of the
We gotta
wind.
get out of the water. It's cooling us down.
Give me a minute!
We devised a system where we positioned our bodies suspended by a line that we'd rigged.
Lie down next to me. You two, lie on top of us.
By stacking ourselves like a bunch of fuel rods in a nuclear power plant or a bunch of logs in a fire, we were able to share our body heat and to keep ourselves warm.
Yeah,
As the
but
storm
what
raged
about the one not in there?
Crawl up underneath the dinghy like that, and it was so quiet and so peaceful. It was so deceptive. It was almost luring you once again into that amniotic state.
Jesus Christ. What would you do, chat? What would you do if you were in that situation? Imagine being her.
Hey, help me! Help me! Right! Call 911!
When John started talking about his heart pains, I knew immediately he was probably just hyperventilating because the air would get very thick under the Zodiac dinghy.
Please, get him into the dinghy!
The wind was like 40 degrees and it was blowing like 90 knots. And
How is the
we
wind
decided we'd
40
flip the
degrees
Zodiac
in the
dinghy
goddamn
over and we lift
Atlantic
Meg
Ocean?
in.
When'd you guys do this journey?
I was horrified at her wounds. The wire in the rigging had cut almost all the way to the bone, and she had huge gaping wounds on her legs. It was heartbreaking. Just those wounds alone were a death sentence.
How is she just been swimming there for a day and a half with a fucking gash like that?
Turn it back over. We're gonna freeze to death.
Look, man, you want to go back in the water, help yourself. There's a whole ocean out there.
We hung there for a minute, And pretty soon he goes, quit kicking me.
I'm not touching you.
You did it again! Cut it out!
What are you talking about? I'm not kicking you.
Stop now!
And I thought, you know what? I'm going to look in the water and I'm going to see where his legs are and I'm going to stay as far away from him as I can. And it was the most eerie sensation. And I noticed these like torpedo-shaped bodies. And I thought, fish. And then all of a sudden one came really close and I realized it was like hundreds of sharks. They were everywhere.
Let's make your day fucking shittier.
And just the minute we got in, fins just everywhere in the water. And I don't mean like 2 or 3. I mean 10, 20. They were everywhere.
Yeah, but those probably weren't even great whites.
I've never seen
It was probably like
so
black
many
tips
sharks in
and
my life. Not in my entire trip around the world. It was the most frightening feeling I've ever felt. To this day, I don't know why the sharks didn't attack us that night, with all of us treading water, with Meg's legs bleeding.
because sharks are more. Fun fact, they're more attracted to pee than blood.
Shark with that! Are you out of your mind? What do you think? What? You're gonna calm them down? Give me that!
Our biggest threat was not just the coal, but a wave breaking underneath us and flipping the Zodiac over and dumping us back into the shark-infested water. So what we had to do is devise a system to try to slow the little rubber Zodiac down.
Hey, Debbie! Do you think maybe we can make a sea anchor out of this thing? Stabilize this tub?
But as soon as we threw the piece of plywood over the front of the boat, the shark swam up and grabbed it in its mouth.
Well, yeah, why, you just threw a bait out for it. Are we dumb?
Little sharks. And this
Well,
one was
what?
big enough to pull
It's a fucking
13-foot
shark!
rubber Zodiac dinghy with 5 people in it, which is at least, what, 700 pounds, wildly through the water.
By nightfall, the storm
might have pulled you towards land.
But the sharks are still out.
You should have let it keep pulling
The
you.
crew's hungry and thirsty, and the night air begins to freeze their wet bodies.
Third
It's night
fucking
2.
second
and
night, dude.
With night comes
About to be the third day.
just that threat of not being able to make it through the night again.
A light! A light! Oh god, it's close. Paddle!
At first, when you see the light, you just are so excited you can't stand yourself. They're coming to rescue you. And then you realize the reality of the situation is it's pitch black. You're in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and nobody can see anything.
If I can't make eye contact with someone on that ship, I'm not close enough, and I just think that paddling towards it is a huge waste of my energy, and I haven't eaten anything in 2 days, and I don't want to expend my energy when I'm freezing all the time to do this.
The craving for water is like nothing I've ever felt. It's as if every cell in your body needs it, and it's crying out for it. You haven't had water in 24 hours, you know, almost 48 hours.
But all I got was the wind blowing through my mouth and actually drying my mouth and my tongue more than the moisture
Jesus Christ.
coming in from the rain.
The suffering these guys had to have went through just to fucking
It was as if God
have a
was
drink.
spitting on us, laughing at our situation.
Well,
All of a
I
sudden,
mean,
we remembered about the
maybe
ship
be a
and we
little more
looked out
prepared.
and the ship was gone. Maybe that was a chance for survival. It's the ultimate despair.
And at that point, I just couldn't take it. I felt that I was being teased by the
I'm
environment.
just confused why
by
we're
the
only
powers
getting to
that
see
be.
2 people's
Oh, I stood
perspective.
up and
It
I
makes me think
gave
3 of them
God
died.
the finger, started, saying, "What are you doing to us? If you're gonna make it rain, let it rain so we can get some water."
The last thing you wanted to do is curse God, because that was about the only chance we had for survival.
I don't want to die.
The ship has gone, but some unwanted guests refuse to leave.
There was always a fin somewhere. They were always bumping into the raft and pushing us around. Then they'd go away for a while, and just about the time you think that they'd gone away,
yeah, they want a
came back
tasty
again.
little treat.
The situation was going from bad to worse to nightmarish.
Day 3, and the crew of the Trashman are still adrift in the Atlantic. Suffering from dehydration,
I want to know how bad
infection,
this woman's
and
infection
the
was
fear
on her
that they'll
leg.
never be found.
She's literally
We were starting
got
to get
caught
very
by the wires.
frustrated with the Coast Guard because
Slapped her leg over
without
to the
food
bone.
and water, we were really starting to suffer.
Hey, do you think a ship will rescue us before the Coast Guard finds us?
See, if I was in that situation, what I'd have to do is tie it
sure,
up
of
so
course.
Blood
Coast Guard's
can't
Hey, guys.
escape.
I got news for you. The Coast Guard ain't
But then it
coming.
will get
They
necrotic,
never
so
were.
maybe I'd have to make it
He
so
forgot
it's
about us.
dripping very, very slowly,
We're on our own.
and then stick my foot in
Thanks a lot,
the
Abby.
sea
It
because
was
it's
as if I
salty,
had dropped the
so it'll
final
disinfect
curtain
it, and then
on the
just
show.
let the air.
They just all kind of
Dry
sat
it
back
out.
and looked at me like I'd lost my mind.
Hey, Brad, where do you think we are?
Well, from roughly where we went down, we're anywhere between 35 and 135 miles off the coast.
What? Is that far? We could still
Is
be
that
going to
far?
shipwreck.
35 miles off the coast? Yeah.
Guys,
Up to 200 or 135?
My God.
The crew have no idea where they are, but the dinghy's now 140 miles from shore and heading out into the Atlantic.
Oh, it's going the wrong way.
The
even worse.
dynamics of the group begin to change,
140 miles
and
away is where
partnerships
they are.
form as the survival instinct starts to take hold.
What are we gonna do?
I don't know.
I'm so sorry I got you into this. If I didn't have you, if it was just me and those guys, I don't know.
We just need to stick together. You and me.
If we lose this bond, then we're lost. And it's what's going to keep both of us alive. So I'm going to watch out for you, and you watch out for me.
I can hardly stay awake.
Why don't you go to sleep? I'll watch you. Make sure you're okay.
If it had come down to someone trying to hurt Brad or kill him, I would have done my best to take him out because Brad was my partner in survival. And I wasn't going to let him go. There was no way. The bottom of the boat was fetid. It had a mixture of urine and blood and pus.
We were in absolute agony because we were starting to get massive staph infections all over our bodies.
These staphylococcal infections are caused by bacteria entering cuts in the skin. They can soon attack the heart and lungs, and Meg is at particular risk because of her open wound.
I felt so bad. She was dying of blood poisoning, and we were sitting there watching Meg die. It was just tragic.
Jesus Christ,
Night
more
3,
days and nights?
with all the infection coming on, and the starvation setting in, we all were getting very delirious.
what are you doing? That stuff will kill you.
Here, Miss Whitbread. Help yourself.
Everyone knows that you're not supposed to drink seawater. They tell us that from the time we're little kids, and that's one of the things you just don't do.
Drinking salt water dehydrates your body
I just
even
had
more.
to-
I mean,
And it
everyone
causes
knows
kidneys
this.
to shut down,
That's
and
crazy.
you begin to have
that
delusions.
They were so delirious.
And ultimately, if you drink salt water, it will kill you. If you don't kill yourself first from the delusion.
I just seen one of the
I
Jackass
didn't really
crew.
know
They
how long it
literally
would be before we saw
they
the
put
effects of the
water
salt
on their
water.
balls, and then
But
there was
it stood to
there's like
reason to
a
me
it was like a tiny
that
horse, but
it
it was
would be
made out of ice.
probably,
And then
you
he
know,
sat on the
7
horse,
hours
and
or
it
so.
like froze into his thing.
I was right.
And then it was
all
it
that
stuck,
long.
and then he was trying to get it off, and then they just pushed him off as he was trying to get it off.
It's too hot.
Yeah. So that's why I squealed. I was like, oh god, I won't be able to do any of this shit. Well, some of it maybe. I just seen him try and tackle a python, and just Johnny Knoxville had like blood all over his arm.
What is, they're literally making them look like those zombies.
Come here. Come to Johnny. Where's everybody?
It was just like I was watching some crazy play.
I want my bags! Wait. I see land. I see land! I see land!
It's right there, man. You see it? It's right there in front of us. We're just off Falmouth, Meg. We'll go to the hospital where my mom works. She'll take care of us.
We're in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. We're nowhere near Falmouth.
That's total crap, man! It's over there.
This went on.
Damn,
all
that's so sad.
long.
I want my cigarettes. I need one now.
And
The
all he cares
monotony
about
of
is
it
cigarettes. What the
was
fuck?
starting to drive me crazy.
I'm just gonna get my car.
We're in the middle of nowhere.
You guys bring the boat in, and I'll go get the car.
There is no car, John.
Ain't no way.
There it is. I see
Nah.
it. I'm just gonna get the car.
They
And
just
then all of a sudden,
did
he
the
jumps off
insemination of a
side.
horse, but then they just, instead of that, they... Oh!
And we're like,
Instead of that, they
"Where the
collected
hell
it,
are you
and then the
going?
guys just drank it.
There is no land, there is no Falmouth, and there are a lot of sharks out there. You need to come back.
Get back in the boat, John. John, go back in the boat. Get back in the boat, John. He's coming back. Do something.
Christ.
I can't. I just don't have the energy, Debbie. Look how far away he is.
There's just physically not enough strength in me to force him not to go.
Did a shark get him?
I can't see him.
All of a sudden, we just hear this shrill scream. I mean, blood curdling. And it was over. And then silence. And it was like there was no crying. There was no nothing.
He got hit by a
Meg
shark.
just said,
He's gone.
there wasn't any doubt what had happened to him. The sharks got him. The sharks never left.
Yeah, because sharks, no, they ain't stupid. When they
I
got
was angry with
food
him
sitting
because
above them, they're
I really
waiting.
felt that
They'll
I would
wait.
get a lot of credit for surviving and having everyone survive. I looked forward and relished the thought of being heroic. And there's nothing heroic in what I had done in this instance, which was stand by while John swam off to meet the shark.
I mean, you were 4 days starving and couldn't stop the delirium anymore, brother. It's
The
not
4
your
remaining
fault.
survivors of the Trash Man
That's
cling
sad
to
that
life
he thinks it's
as
his
they
fault.
drift helplessly in the Atlantic. The sharks have
How do
just
you
claimed
stop
their
a man
first
that's
victim,
literally seeing
John,
land in the
the
middle of
captain.
the Atlantic and thinking he's going to
After
get in his
John
car?
went over, we all just sort of sat back for a while. I think everyone was so shocked.
Also,
And
4 days on top
Meg
of
was
sharks,
crying, but
knowing
she
they're
wasn't
sharks,
sobbing.
and he
It's
still
just
hopped
so
out.
sad.
He still
She
just
was so
dove out the
sick.
dinghy.
Stream suspended for policy violation.
Make you feel better. Take your mind off John.
Hello.
Promise.
What's up, bud?
He says,
Stream unavailable. Stream
Hey, lady.
suspended for policy violations. YouTube.
For what?
I don't know.
That's so, like, what was I doing wrong? I wish they would tell me. I see hundreds of other creators get to react to shit, get to watch stuff. Wait, he jumped into the water too? No way. Bo, yo, what's up? Jesus Christ. My day is swell. How is yours? I'm probably the only person you're gonna ever hear respawn like that. Only okay. That's not good. Smile, brother. Life's good. I'm about to have a son in 2 weeks. No, they didn't. They literally blocked it right when I started doing anything.
Oh, we're back up. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't even know what PR is. I don't watch no sports on YouTube. I know what Top Dog is. Yeah. No one calls Power Rangers PR. Yeah, Thunder Force is the best one. And Mighty Morphin. Those are the two best. It's not even close. It's literally not even close. Whatever it's called. I can't remember what it's called. Power Rangers 2004. Dino Thunder. I just knew Thunder something. I just knew it had to do with Thunder. Yeah, Lost Galaxy and Lightspeed Rescue are also good. I would have to say Mighty Morphin's the best. Lost Galaxy. Then I would probably go Dino Force and then Lightspeed. And what's the one that came out in like 2007? Oh, Ninja Storm and Mystic Force are both good too. So the only reason we were only getting to see those two people speak chat is because everyone else died. That's crazy. Operation Overdrive. I pretty much watched Power Rangers from 2000 to like 2006. Whenever Ninja Storm came out. Time Force? I'm not even sure. It's the best storyline one. Yeah, I just think I'll be watching that shit now that I have a son. All right, brother. My day's already over.
Are you good?
Yeah.
Good.
A little bit of a shorter one. Still got to get our P's and Q's in check.
P's and Q's.
Yeah, do that. No, I already crashed. I crashed earlier, not an hour. I've been here since like 9:30. Where have you been?
Waiting, Mom, wait.
Yeah, that's okay. Everyone's got to do it. Everyone does it every now and then, you know. It's okay.
I'd rather have it done for me. Alright, you have a good one, bro, yeah?
Yeah, you too, brother. Why don't you go live, Quinn? Quinn's going live, chat. Go hang out with him. That's what you should do. Go hang out with Quinn. Go follow him. Go hit the sub button on the YT. Go show him some love. Because my day's out. Yeah, making promises for you. He will go live. And I'll see you guys in the morning. So other than that, as always, take care of yourselves and each other. I appreciate you guys. Much love. We shall see you bright and early. I won't be late tomorrow because there's no doctor's appointment. So be ready, chat. We'll take care. Bye for now. Have a good one. I'm out. Peace out.